Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamson Entertainment. I was at Thy Geekdom Con. It was the first time going to this convention. Not the first time I've been to this location. This location, the Greater Philadelphia Convention Center, also hosts Too Many Games, which is later in August. Please forgive what's in the foreground. I'm still working on the Deadpool costume. It's not June yet. I can get it done. I got this. And another goal I took a step towards completing this year was interviewing some fellow cosplayers. Today I interviewed Allison and a couple that does props and cosplay, Bartholomew and Jennifer. Please forgive me for the focus of the camera during the interviews. There's an app for the camera that wasn't working, so I had to have the people interviewing help me direct where the camera points. This is Steve of Jamson Entertainment. First time at Thy Geekdom Con. I'm interviewing the lovely Allison. And how are you living your imagination today?
So I'm dressed up as Brigitte from Overwatch. This is actually her Overwatch League skin. So Overwatch is a 6-player game. Well, it's a 12-player game, so 6 person per team. And they basically fight to do objectives and stuff, but there's so many different characters and variety of characters. They actually have an esports league, and I'm dressed as one of their esports skins for the character Brigitte. So that she's one of my favorite characters. She is strong. She is the daughter of another character. She builds her own armor suits, kind of like I do today. So it's nice to be able to be someone else for a change. So I guess that's how I would be living in imagination, because I don't get to be myself. Normally I'm just like a boring old retail associate with like purple blue hair. But you know, when I'm here, I'm Brigitte. So it's totally different and it feels amazing. So.
And how long have you been doing this, and what got you into it?
So I've been doing this for about 5 years, almost 6. I'd say that I started kind of by going to a con and being like, oh yeah, people dress up for this stuff, I should try that. So then I did the next year when I went back, and I kind of just stuck with it. I got more and more advanced, and I fell more and more in love with it as I'm kind of developing in the craft.
What was your first cosplay?
I was Chell from Portal 2. Okay. Yeah, so I did it twice. I did it once that was really janky, and the other time that was like I had the certified jumpsuit and like replica gun, and it's probably one of my favorite and most comfortable costumes.
And you make all of your costumes?
For the most part, yeah. I don't buy a lot of my stuff just because I like the challenge of making it. But I have bought elements for costumes before, like an undersuit or like a bodysuit that I don't feel like making. But a lot of the stuff that I do is handmade.
And you do it yourself, or do you have help?
No, it's mostly me. I mean, the help of the internet, that's basically it. But a lot of it is me. Emotional support goes to my fiance, but all the like crafting and stuff is on me.
All right, and where can people find you on social media?
So a lot of my stuff, you can just find me under Allison Jeffrey or Allison Jeffrey Cosplay. It is 1 L, not 2. People get that mixed up a lot. I'm also on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. So basically all of social media, you can find me at Allison Jeffrey Cosplay.
So at Allison Jeffrey?
Yeah, either Allison Jeffrey or Allison Jeffrey Cosplay. It depends on where you're trying to find me. But most places you'll be able to find me by just looking up my name.
All right, thank you very much. I'll direct them to you.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Steve of Jamson Entertainment interviewing today.
Bartholomew
and Jennifer McCassiab.
And how are you guys living your imagination?
Well, right now I'm wearing a Lego President Business.
Okay. And you?
And I am wearing Bad Cop of Good Cop, Bad Cop from the Lego movie.
Where'd you get the ideas for these other than the movie?
We were invited to another con because of our other creations, because we end up building really big builds, and they're like, come to our con, and we decided if we're going to your con, let's do something that you would enjoy.
That was for the Lego Brick Fest, which was just a month ago. So we decided that we were part of the villain group, so let's do villain Legos. Who would that be? President Business and Bad Cop.
And how long you guys been doing this?
I think right around 7 years. Trying to remember how long we've been married.
2011, we met at our first con that I did, and she happened to go to the same con. I was wearing a costume, and we met while I was in costume. And then the following year, we decided to build costumes, and ever since then, we've made big costumes, and we've gotten bigger and bigger every year.
And what got you started into cosplaying?
I always liked Halloween. I always enjoyed the getting to be something else, and you don't have to stay true to exactly who you are. You can kind of live out that inner desire of who you'd like to be, and sometimes carry that personality over and know that it's just part of a character and not who you really are.
And I started getting into cosplay because originally I decorated my truck for Christmas time, and it got totally crazy, and then I had to start decorating myself. Like mine is Cheers on Wheels on YouTube is my truck.
Can you take me through some of your builds?
Sure. Stand over here. This is one of my builds. This is Robbie the Robot. First time he's ever seen is in a movie called Forbidden Planet, and he's mostly made out of junk. And then this one here is
The B9 from Lost in Space robot, because we generally try and do couples costumes.
I thought one of them was the dialect and the other one was from Lost in Space.
This one's the Lost in Space robot, the B9,
Right.
that does Danger, Will Robinson, danger. And this one actually showed up in a couple of the episodes of Lost in Space, but also was on Twilight Zone, Mork and Mindy.
Addams Family, Columbo. He has a small part in Gremlin, so he's got Robbie the Robot has a large IMDb page.
And tell me about the Batman suit. You said your friend made that?
Yes, the Batman suit is my co-worker. He had to babysit one of my costumes, and after that he decided, let me build one too. So within a year, he built the costume, and this is his first build, and he's very much an artist. He has over 200 hours in it. It weighs about 50 pounds, and he's ended up building a lot more gloves, and there's a lot of upgrades. He already has 2 capes, so it's a work in progress, but this is, how he started.
Is he here today, or are you just showcasing for him?
I'm just showcasing for him. He was supposed to be here, but life sometimes happens, but still wanted to show it off to people.
And what about over here?
This is Pee-wee's scooter from Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's not the real one. We built our own, and also Conky from Pee-wee's Playhouse. And once again, these are just junk, and they're made on wheelchairs, so we can ride them around all we want. And as long as we're having fun, it's all great.
You never know that it was built from scrap. How do you achieve such awesomeness?
As long as it's a light balance between getting movie quality and cost effect, like the cost. So we try and keep costs down, but knowing that you're spending too much money sometimes isn't having fun.
And did both of you make all of these?
He mostly made that one. I think he might have had a neighbor help with one thing. Oh, no, wait, that was on that because of the radio. He supplied the radio because my husband had gone over and said, I need that radio. So he swapped out radios. He built that one. Mine is not here because I actually built a cherry. So that's not here today. So I did the Zephyr Swoop that's there. That I had built. That's from Star Wars, from obviously Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, as you can see from the poster behind it. So that was my rendition of it. Again, that's on an electric wheelchair, built out of all kinds of randomness. There's ski poles in it, bike brakes, coffee cans, all kinds of craziness.
Ab roller, and the whole entire frame is made out of used bed frames that we just ended up trash picking. So it's a lot of like junk stuff just thrown together just to get you to get an idea of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And they do move and everything. So once you get the idea, I think we're doing a good job.
Yep.
I see you also made Mothra and Mechagodzilla.
Yes. Mothra, we made her interactable. Oops, her arm came off.
Oh, that's because somebody was getting hugs.
Yes. And we did that on purpose so that way nobody could actually get hurt by Mothra when they were getting a hug from her. So people can actually kind of get inside of her arms and get a hug from Mothra. So a Lego being hugged by Mothra. You saw it first. And then mine, I had done fiberglass resin of a yoga ball and the fiberglass dust mask. So that was a lot of thinking outside the box. And her eyes, because I'm an x-ray tech, are actually made of x-ray film. So it's just kind of looking at things differently. And then he made Mechagodzilla.
And Mechagodzilla is a trash can, Sterlite lids that my neighbor was throwing away, some PVC that goes around window frames that I had floating around, drywall bucket, Easter eggs, kitty litter buckets, reflectors off of my car, some pipe that I had, PVC pipe I had sitting around, and it was like mostly just trash, and just threw it together and sprayed it all up. There's some knee pads, and I have part of the knee pad so I can actually operate the jaw when I'm wearing it as a costume.
I thought it was just a statue. This is a working costume.
Yes, it is a fully operational working costume, and I can probably throw that on in, I'd say, under a minute is the time it takes me to toss that one on.
That's absolutely amazing. And Mothra's a costume?
Absolutely,
Oh,
she
wow.
is. I would actually get it and walk around. She's on wheels, so that way I can chug along with her.
And when where can people find you on social media?
I'm at the Wife's Cheers on Wheels on Facebook, Twitter, and what's the other one? Instagram. There you go. So the Wife's Cheers on Wheels for me.
And I am Cheers on Wheels on Facebook and all the other platforms also.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Those are my interviews of 3 amazing cosplayers today. You can find Allison at these tags, and you can find Bartholomew and Jennifer at these tags. Thank you to all 3 of you for allowing me to interview you. You're very nice people, amazing cosplays, amazing work that you're doing. You're really helping me towards my goal this year of interviewing 10 cosplayers. I'm only counting this as 2 interviews because they're not 3 separate interviews. Thank you again, and I hope to see you at more conventions. While I was there, I also took a 360 video of that, and I'll put a card. If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people like it, share it. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and live your imagination.